Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is David from Daveden Web Dev, and on this channel I like to talk about all things WordPress, especially about accessibility and dynamic data. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, please do leave it in the comments so that I know everything is good before we proceed, so I don't start speaking to myself basically. Yeah, so today's stream will just be looking at Elementor in general. I'm just going to be doing a Q&A about Elementor. And if you have any questions, do leave them in the comments. Oh, okay. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for confirming that everything is good. So today is just basically talking about Elementor, dynamic data, that is using dynamic shortcodes, or JetEngine, and just general what I've been doing recently. There's a project I've been working on using JetEngine, which I'm going to show you now. And I'll also answer, I think, one or two questions that I got over the week on some of my previous videos to see if everything is good. Oh, hi, Eddie. Thanks for joining in. Uh, oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we're getting into the festive period. So we have my tiny Christmas tree over there and some plants. And we're getting there. Hopefully, we'll all be celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah and any other celebration that you all do. So, yeah. So, like I said, today is just going to be a chilled day, just talking about Elementor, about dynamic data using dynamic shortcodes and JetEngine. And I may show you a bit about Command UI as well. I did it in the last live stream, but we might look at it again. How Command UI integrates nicely into Elementor. And before we begin that, let me quickly share some things on the screen so you can prepare for them. So first, let me see if I can get it. The first one is a big one, which I believe everybody should tune into, and that's happening tomorrow. And that is, let me switch over. We have the speed build between Jessica Lisick and Matt Mullenberg. Basically, he is the founder of WordPress, or the co-founder of WordPress. And we have Jessica. She works a lot with Grade Suite. So we already know which page builder she's going to use or which block editor she's going to use. It's going to be Grade. He's going to use, let's just do a random guess and say he's going to use Elementor. Who knows? And we have Jamie, who is hidden. I don't know why this. How can I hide this? I can't. Okay. Well, we have Jamie hiding at the bottom. And yeah, so that's the first one. Let me drop it in the chat if you want to tune in. So it's going to be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC. Then the other big one is, let's see if I can get it. This one is if you're in UK, if you're in London, then you can tune in for this one, another speed build. And this time, rather than Jamie being the host, he's going to be one of the participants. He's going to be competing against one of our lead organizers for the UK WordPress meetup or the London WordPress meetup. And both of them are going to be competing against each other. And Nathan will be their host. So yeah, if you're in London, you can come in and join the meetup. So that's that one. And finally, we have the other one, which is back finally, and that is called the live page building with Dave Bloom and Maxim Bergwijn. Basically, he's going to be using Breaks and Advanced Thema, obviously, and Dave is going to be using a new page builder called Aviator, I believe. So I think it's a page builder that he built himself. So we're going to see how fun it is for Maxim using his own product and Dave using his own product. Let's see how well both of them can use their products, because sometimes you build a product, you know the ins and outs of the product, but using it, you may not be able to use it as well as somebody else. That's how funny life is. That even with WordPress, I believe that although Matt is the co-founder of WordPress and everything runs through him, but there are a lot of things about WordPress that he doesn't, like, he wouldn't have thought up by himself. And that's why we have a team of people and we have content creators working hard to create content for our products, which I think, what do you people think? Do you think, like, Max, I don't, who now? Let's see. We have WP Thoughts, Paul. He does a lot of videos about advanced thema, but do you think there should be more content creators talking about advanced thema, or the ones we have already is just fine? Let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, so these two of them are going to be like going head to head against each other, and hopefully it's going to be fun. And yeah, those are the 3 things that we'll be working with today. So those are the 3 things I just wanted to point out in the news section. Oh, hey Atif, thanks for joining in. So today we're just looking at some of the things that we can expect I think this was also happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. So it's going to be a treat. First, we'll have Jamie's live stream, the speed build with Matt and Jessica, happening at 3 p.m. Then at 4 p.m., we get to see this one with Advanced Thema and Aviator. So those are the ones we're looking at. And if you are in London, like I said, you can join our meetup and you get to the speed build with Nathan Wrigley and Dan and Jamie. So yeah. So before we continue, let me now show you something that we've been working on recently in the UK meetup. So the Elementor UK meetup, we'll be trying to like polish the entire website. I'm not very good with design, so please, if the design doesn't look great, please let me know in the comments so that we know how to improve the design. But this is the new design we're trying to just come up with, and the exciting features that we're going to be having in the page is our events. So we're trying to move away, because we've been having so many issues with Meetup. Sometimes the Meetup, that is the app, Meetup app, has been playing up a little bit. So we're trying to make everything come in-house. So we want to make the events, to register for the events, to be on the website, as well as a community. So we can have a community and the events, everything in the same website. So that's what we're looking at. And what we have so far is, we have a bunch of links. This is a demo site, so it's not the actual site. I will link to the actual sites when everything is fully polished. But basically, so we have our events, and so that event is just basically telling us what's the latest meetup. So this is the latest one, which this is just a random date right now. I'm not sure this is the exact date, but for now, we're just going to say that next week, Wednesday, we're having a meetup. It is not confirmed. So once we now get to that meetup, so we go into the meetup, then we'll get to see a place where we can register. The cool thing about this is everything is using JetEngine in the backend, JetEngine and some dynamic shortcodes, but mostly JetEngine. So what happens here is that if you are logged in, okay, let's see. Oh, oh no. Well, okay, yeah, it's a good question. It's a little. It's more of a personal preference. It's not really for screen reader, anything about screen readers. It's just personal. When I record my video, sometimes my mic is usually away from my face, and then I talk for like hours, and only to find out that nothing was coming through into the mic, and everything just goes bad. So that's why I usually like to like feedback. So maybe I'll get one of those tiny headphones just to be able to hear myself. And a lot of times there's actually noise in the background which you may not be hearing, but outside my door, people are always like moving around, but at least the mic tends to reduce those sounds. So you all will not be hearing those sounds, but I will keep hearing those sounds, and I get a bit jumpy when I hear people moving around, and I'm like, somebody's there, and so a lot of people have asked me this question. So I think maybe I should change it. What do you guys think? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Even Eddie is saying the same thing. Because I know it looks weird just wearing headphones all day. But yeah. So yeah, as we were saying, this is how the website will be. One thing that happens is, let me just go ahead and open this in the private window as well. So if you are logged in, so right now I'm logged in as just a subscriber, not an admin, so that's why I cannot actually get to the back end. I allowed the top bar just for demo purposes, but I can't actually get to the back end because I'm actually a subscriber or like a participant. I just created a user role using Show members. Yeah, no, I understand. Everybody has asked me that question as well, so it's now I don't, no hard feelings at all. I've been thinking about it, but it has gotten so I've gotten so used to it that when I don't wear my headphones, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? There's too much noise outside that it gets distracting to me. Fun fact, even when I'm on the road, I usually wear my, I don't know where, I can't find where I put it now, my Samsung headphones. So I literally wear those headphones sometimes without anything being on, just to reduce sound. Like, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but I get like affected by sound sometimes. But yeah. So yeah, let me continue. So we have like I said, we have this website. If you are, where's the other one? Okay, yeah. If you're not logged in, then first of all, you wouldn't see what we're planning to do is we'll be able to host our videos directly on the page. But if you're not logged in, you wouldn't see that banner or that video. You'll only just see everything about the event, and maybe you see a cover picture. But if you are logged in, I will show you later. If you're not logged in, if you click on the register for event, it will tell you, sorry, you're not signed in. You should log in or create an account. So you have to either log in or you create an account. But if you are signed in and we've permitted you, then when you come to this register for event, let me see if it's there. Okay, it's not there. So when you come to this register for event, I'll click on register, and it will pre-populate with this is just random. Then if you choose yes, you are attending the event, and you choose submit, it should reload the page, and we will get it on the back end. You will get an email with the link, and two things will pop up. First one, you will now see this add to calendar, which will allow you to add the event to your calendar. And the second thing is your name will now be popping up as one of the attendees. So this will not, once you register, then it will show up here as one of the attendees. We might also do something like make it more private so that we'll give you another checkbox to say, do you want your name to be in the public view or not? So that when you select it, your name will not be here, but the number will be added to the number of attendees, but your name will not show up here. That's something for the future. But yeah, that's what we are like working with, and everything is done using JetEngine, just using some dynamic conditions and some other things like that to using JetEngine. And what else? Yeah, so let me see if I have another event. So let's go back to the events. And like I was saying, let me see which one of them has a video. I think the one with Verdi, yeah, Verdi. So if you can show up, should show up, or maybe I didn't do something well. Oh, it's not showing up. I guess I've broken the website. But ideally, what will happen is if you have the permission to view the video, then the video is supposed to pop up here where you can watch the video. But if you are not allowed to watch the video, then let me go to the other one, go to events and to special appearance. You should get a warning. Oh, it's not. Okay, I think I've broken the conditions. Ideally, it's supposed to show you here that it will show you like a screenshot of the video, but then say you are not allowed to view this video unless you are a participant or you're a member or something like that. So that's what it's supposed to show. But that is just about it. That's what we're working on for later. Once everything is done, we will share it in the Elementor UK WhatsApp group and some other places so people can go ahead and register. We'll also put some, like, what's it called? The newsletter and all of those things in the website. But yeah, that's it. So if you have any questions, please do let me in the comments. If you have any suggestions, because my video, right, like I said, the design is just out there, just everything just lumped together. If you have any ideas about colors, about things to add, because the about section is also blank at the moment. It's supposed to like show the members who want their information to be shown, and to just show everything in a list, but everything is broken down because I literally did this exact design. I did it like 2 days, just 2 days ago, and I forgot about it. So, but the actual website, let me link to the main website in the comments. This is the official website. Oh, I forgot this browser is weird. Okay. Did I? Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is the actual website that we have currently. So that's what I'm trying to like port to the other one. At the moment, we are using some plugins. So I was like, just at random thinking about switching from using plugins to just like centralizing everything using JetEngine. And oh yeah, something I forgot to show as well is the community. So if I click on the community, since I'm logged in and I'm allowed, I should come to a community that looks like Circle. This is done using Fluent community. Shout out to Jimmy. He's the one who has shown us about Fluent community, which kind of looks like Circle. So you can, when we have members, they will all be able to like leave comments. They will be able to go in, like get started the same way you have with your Circle. So no much difference. So everything is there, and you can write your comments, the title, and then I know there are some back and forth. People have been talking about Fluent community. I don't know if people have been hearing it. People have been saying some things about, like, I think who started it? Was it that Adam? I think said that Fluent community is not really integrated into WordPress or something like that. It's like a separate app, whereas Shodash is like integrated into WordPress or something. There was some like comparison, and both of them have been writing comments about each other, like, I don't know, in secret or something, or like in their various groups. But I'm not going to get into that because I have no idea anything that's happening. All we do is we enjoy the plugins at the end of the day. So I don't know what you guys think. Which one do you think is better? Like, I know they are still in their infancy, but do you think Shodash will be better than the Fluent community, or do you think it's going to be the other way around? Let me know in the comments. So, yep. Let me switch back. And yeah, those are the things I was just like working on in my free time. And now, for today, we're just going to be doing Q&A about dynamic shortcodes and like JetEngine. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to know about dynamic shortcodes and JetEngine, please let me know in the comments and we'll try to answer them. But as we're going along, let me quickly look at the Elementor 3.26 and we'll see something that people should. Oh no, what am I going to? Oh, I'm going to somebody else's site. Elementor 3.26 beta. Okay, beta release. I think for me, with this Elementor's the beta release, I think the one that stands out to me most is, I think it's, yeah, that's one of the things I'm planning on even using, this off canvas, the dynamic content for Elementor. Then I was also impressed with this optimized DOM, because now that they are finally trying to reduce all of those divception, it's a cool idea. I don't know when it will get fully implemented, because I know a lot of people have been pushing back, saying they've already built lots of codes and code snippets within their tech stack. So for Elementor to start removing these divs, it might affect them and things like that. But I think it's a good move to start optimizing the DOM, because it's been a very long time. This other one, I haven't actually tested it out, this ad block, because I generally don't even use pop-ups. So I've not tested out the ad block detection trigger. And then the AI, that's for people who love AI. Then what else was there? Let's see. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they've added paragraph spacing control in text widgets. Okay, no, they've edited it. What else? And that's another thing I'm going to test out soon, which is their, what they call it, the slider that they said they've made it more accessible. I've not tested that yet, so I have no comments on it, but I'm hoping that they followed some form of pattern, because frankly, I know people like to, with good reason, they've been attacking me, saying I keep attacking people, and I apologize already. The thing is that I just feel that when we are trying to build components, there are already patterns out there. You may think their patterns are not there, but they are already there somewhere. Somebody has thought about those patterns in a, like, to be accessible. So just if you search for it well enough, like if you look at this book by Hayden Pickering, it talked about inclusive design. He breaks down most of the components that we use currently. He has already broken them down and explained why some things work, some things don't work. So if you go through that book, you get to understand his reasoning behind so many things. Like, okay, yes, you can build a component in a certain way, but you also have to like consider the why something doesn't work. Because like I said with chess, if you have ever played chess, you can have like 5 good moves or like 5 moves you can play, but sometimes only one of those moves is actually good to a certain level. The other moves are good maybe 2-3 steps down the line, but like 10-15 steps down the line, they are not very good. They have some bad, but if you don't like consider those 10-15 steps down the line, then you enter into trouble. So that's one of the things that people think about a lot. Like, that's why I also say just follow the guidelines. Don't try to start reinventing the wheel too much. You can do it a little bit, but not too much, because you are not seeing things so far away. That's why we have guidelines. They've all these WCAG guidelines. These are people who are experts in the field, coupled with people who are like the disabled people that are being, or like the people with living with disability. So those are the people who have come together to form those ideologies to say, okay, this is how we should do something X, this is how we should do Y. But if you just think, okay, I know it myself, this is how it should be done, your move may be good, but it will be good only to a short period, not like to a very high depth. It will just be a good for like a few people. And well, yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, so okay, let's see the question. Let me. Okay, no. So the dynamic shortcode is basically just, it's kind of like just helping you to write PHP without writing PHP. That's all it does. It's not really So it doesn't do all those like filtering and all of those things. I don't think you can do it. Maybe you can. I don't know. Yeah. But usually it is more for like outputting data. That is like even like I showed with the API, you can only get data from the API. You can't like post data, like create or whatever into the like. You can only like just retrieve data. You can't send data forward. So, but let's go ahead and just see some aspects of dynamic shortcodes. Let me see. Switch back to my screen. And let's see. So I'll use a bit of command UI. So I'll just create a page. Hello, Pixter. Thanks for joining in. So today we're just looking. So we're all good. Everything good. I finished my rant for the day. So now we go back into looking at dynamic shortcodes and any questions anybody have about dynamic shortcodes. So let's look at dynamic S test. Publish it. And let me edit in Elementor. Let's even go ahead to see what I have on this website. I'm not even sure. Let's see, go to home. Okay, let's see. I have JetEngine. And let me see so the post types I have are events and resources. Okay. So this is not this website. This is a different website. So let me close them. But we have, okay. Yeah, so we have the custom post types. I just created 2 post types. Let me see if I have anything populated there. Events. So we have, okay, but this event, let me edit one of them. Okay, so we have some items. All right. So one of the things with dynamic shortcodes is that you can retrieve data from any source. In fact, they are working on integrating with some other components, which I don't know if I don't know how far along they've gone, but I think they had plans on integrating more deeply with ACPT, then JetEngine CCTs, and what else? ASE. Yeah. When I was testing it a long time ago, I think with admin and site enhancements, there are custom post types. You can retrieve almost any data because everything is stored in the post meta. The only thing that was having issues was with their repeater fields, I think. I don't know. I think it wasn't working properly. The dynamic shortcodes wasn't working properly with their repeater fields, which is understandable because I think every custom meta field plugin like Metabox, ACF, JetEngine, all of them store their repeater fields in different ways. I think JetEngine does an array. There's a way it does its array, which is different from the way ACF is the easiest one to work with. I think the array is just simple. But I think with JetEngine, they put it in a different way. Then Metabox also has its own way of outputting repeaters, followed by and even ASE and pods. Those two, I think they are similar in the way they output their repeater fields, but it's different from other ones, so it's confusing. So that's why it doesn't, especially the repeater fields. That's the specific. All the other fields tend to work well, but the repeater fields, I think all of them have different ways that they implement it. So with dynamic shortcodes, it works with most of them, but with I think ASE, I think pods, and which one? Those are the ones I think I tested. There are just some slight things that they will improve, hopefully, very soon. But yeah, so the way, let me switch back to my screen. The way dynamic shortcodes works is that you have to think about where you're trying to pull your data from, because all it does is helps you to retrieve data. Then it helps you to manipulate the data in a little bit. That is like you can do arithmetics, so multiplication, addition, division, and all of that on your data. Then you can output it in a different format. So like especially like dates, you can take the dates in one format and output it in another format and all of that. So with the first thing, so let me just go ahead and say, let's assume I'm trying to pull out all of the data from this post in another post. So I'm trying to like output maybe the featured image, the post title of this post. So because this is a separate post, I will now use you copy the ID. So copy this ID. That's just because this is a separate post. If it was the same post, I'm trying to put the data. So let's say I'm creating a single post template, then I don't need to use the ID. So I'll copy this ID for reference. So that is 233, I think. Yeah. So we have the ID now. Then the next thing we need to do is getting all of these field names. If you're not very conversant with the way dynamic shortcodes work, then you can always use the demo shortcodes, which if you go to demo, that is, you go to your dynamic shortcodes from your WP dashboard, dynamic shortcodes and demo shortcodes. So let's go there. So this is where you can see everything you can pull in from dynamic shortcodes. You can pull in your posts, users, dates, the query, the author of the post. You can do the terms as well, options pages. And it's not only limited to these. There are some that are not listed here, like your arithmetics and other ones. But these are the main ones that you may want to pull data from. And this one now is where the power comes in. I actually used the call when I was building my, let me see if I can, DWC. So, let's pop it up. Why is it slow now? Okay. Oh, because I don't know why it was slow. But yeah, see this, my navigation menu, because I got fed up with the way Elementor's navigation works and the way the mega menu works. I got fed up with everything. So what I did was I built everything using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And to call it into my page, you need to use that render, and then you call the name of the nav menu. So I just used dynamic shortcodes to do a call action. So I just do call, then I think it's called render. So render, and then you put the name of the thing you're trying to render. But since I'm not logged in with the right account here, so I can't actually open the backend. If not, I will have shown you what I did. But then that gives me that now the mega menu is exactly how I want it. It's not bound by Elementor. It's not with all of their tactics, because I think the whole thing that made me to start trying to create my own menu myself was after I spoke with, I think I asked a question. Somebody asked a question on the Bricks community about the menu widget, and the response, because he said let me see if I can pull it up. Forum, no, okay, it's not on this browser. So he said that the question the person was asking was that he tested the Bricks mega menu using a screen reader, which I've actually talked about months ago. And he noticed that if you're using the nestable menu and you set it to open only on hover, so not on click, just only on hover, the moment you turn on a screen reader like NVDA or Narrator, the drop down does not work anymore. So if you're using only a keyboard, it will work. If you're using what's it called, voiceover, but in a special setting, it will work. If you switch over to another setting, it will not work. So the person was saying that, okay, how can we now make it to work on all settings? But the response he got back, or we got back from the team, is that we should adjust the settings of our screen reader so that it will work with the website. And then I had to just point out that that's not actually how it works. According to the fourth rule of the Wicca guideline, is that your website should be robust, which means it should work with any current technology. So any current assistive technology on any current web browser. So that's why we also, on a side note, that you try to avoid using what's it called, CSS things that are like not working presently, like all those experimental CSS things. You try to avoid using those. Make sure you use these CSS when it is now like compatible, or as long as the CSS does not break things. So when the has CSS first came out, has selector, people started using the has selector. At that time, it was like 70% or something less than that in terms of like compatibility, but people were already using it. That is actually not so like nice, because what you're doing is that you're alienating everybody who has not updated their browser to that like technology and things like that. So that's why you as a web designer, you always try to make sure that your website works with current technology. Don't start using experimental future technologies unless it wouldn't break the website. Maybe to just change some styles, but not like break the entire website. The same thing with screen readers. The screen reader should not be adapting to you. It is you that adapts to the way the screen reader works. So that was the point I was trying to make, because he was saying we should disable the insert key and only work with the caps lock. But the way screen readers work is that when you activate a screen reader, it applies some JavaScript that disables a lot of the keyboard functionality that you are used to, unless it sees the HTML that is like working. So let's say it goes into a button. The moment it gets into a button, then it will deactivate its event listeners for click and spacebar. It will only just switch the event listener to arrow keys or something like that. So it will adapt its event listeners depending on what element that you put it on. But if you choose the wrong, like either the wrong ARIA attributes or the wrong role or the wrong element, then the screen reader will not switch the event listener properly, and then that's why we start to see things breaking. You say, okay, that's why you see me always talking about, don't just be dumping in ARIA information if you don't know what it is. Don't just start putting ARIA live or ARIA described by or ARIA if you don't know what it is, because the screen readers interpret those information and then the output data based on all the information that you put in. But yeah, that's it. So, okay, this website, okay, let me switch back. This one was, for this local one, this one was on my own local machine. Most times I use the InstaWP, but this time I just decided to test this one on my local machine. Let me see if I can turn on my, but yeah, most of my other tutorials, they've always been on InstaWP, but I felt this one, I had it already set up long ago, so I just decided to pop it up to do some testing. So yeah, as we were saying, so we have this, let's say we want to pull in the featured image of the post. Let's see which post is that. I think it's an event. Okay, so events. And this event, Barcelona AI Film Festival. So we're trying to pull in the featured image of this event. What we now do is, all right, close that page again. So the demo. So there are two ways you can do it. If you're an Elementor user, there are two ways you can do this. You can either come over here. This is the longer way. You come here, you now read through all of this information to see how to pull in the data you want. Or you can go to the, I think it's, what's it called? Collections. Yeah, under collections, they show you examples of so many things you can do. So what you have here now is, we're trying to get the featured image. So first we pull out the featured image, but I explained this in a previous video. Anything within this area here, like within the edit area, most of them, they give you the data directly. But most of the information you put in this sidebar, usually it is just we give a reference to that information. So what do I mean by that? If you're trying to get the post title, all you have to do is, let me open. Let me take it slowly. So take a heading widget. Say I'm trying to get the post title. All you do is come to the dynamic tags, come down to dynamic shortcodes, and then you choose the wrench icon and say, open the curly brace, post, column, title, close the curly brace. It will give you the post title of the current post. If you want the post title of the other post, which is the Barcelona, you come back to the wrench icon and you do the, just before the closing curly brace, you put at ID equal to, I think it was 233. And we get the title of the post from the other page. So you see this one, all I have to do is just declare post title and then the ID of this page. But if I'm trying to get the featured image, because the featured image is on this area, what happens is that WordPress will only store the ID of that image. It doesn't store the actual image on the post. It stores the IDs of the image. So the same thing with your terms. So like your taxonomy terms, it doesn't store the name of the term on your page. It only stores the ID of that term, because at least that saves a lot of data, because rather than having to have duplicate data, so all it do is just take the ID of the term, take the ID of the featured image, take the ID of any other thing like that's here, and just put it there. Whereas the other main information that is supposed to be for that specific post, like the title, like the content, like all of this information down here, it will store those directly on the post, because that's unique to the post. Whereas the featured image can be used on multiple posts. So rather than wasting so much space, it will just store the ID of that image and then let it be. So now if I try to get the image, we now have to use two dynamic shortcodes combined together. So I'll come to the dynamic tags. I'll do the same thing. Click on the wrench icon. And for this one, if you look at the information here, this will give you a clue. It tells you that you need the ID of a media file or the URL of the image, so any of the two. So let's see how we can get the ID of the media file. That's one nice thing about Elementor though. Elementor will just, once you can give it the ID of the media file, it will work. So we can just feed in the ID. So that is post colon featured dash image dash ID, and then I have to declare from this post, which is the 233, so ID equal to 233. It will give you the image, and that's because Elementor's image widget already has that pre-processing in the background. But if I am to come and take this and put it in a regular heading widget, so let me duplicate the heading widget and then put that same tag here, it will only return the ID of the media. It will not return the media itself. If you want to return the media itself, that's why we have to now wrap this into another shortcode, and that is the media shortcode. So you come to this one, open the curly brace and write media, colon, and what we're trying to get is the image. So image, then we now feed in the ID. So at ID equal to this, and then we have to close the end curly brace, and we get the same thing. So we get our image. So this is, if you want to just use a standard text widget, you'd have to specify that you want to get the image from the media. But if you are using the image widget from Elementor, Elementor's image widget already has the pre-processing inside. So all it needs is just feed it with the ID. It will do the rest of the work for you. So that's how we get the image. If you just want the URL, you can, rather than writing image here, just write URL. So URL, it will return the URL of that image. If you want the caption, you just write caption. Oh no, is it caption? Oh yeah, I spelled it wrongly. Oh yeah, okay. The image doesn't have a caption, that's why it's not showing anything. I think it doesn't have an alt text as well. Because with alt text, it's the same thing. You write alt-text, but the image doesn't have an alt text. So that's why nothing is popping up. So that is just the basic way with Elementor, with dynamic shortcodes, is that all you have to do is decide where am I getting my data from. So is it from a post? Is it from a term? Or is it from the options pages? Because in WordPress, data is stored like generally in 4 places, I think. There is the post meta, the term meta, the user meta, or inside an options page. Then there are other ones that people can now use what they call the custom content type, where they store it in custom data tables. But for regular WordPress data, it is stored either as a post in the post meta field, or in the user meta field, in the term meta field, or as an options page. So that is standard with WordPress. So that's, you now have to decide, okay, where am I getting my data from? Am I getting the data from the post? Is it from a term? Is it from an options page? Or where? So once you have gotten that out of the way, that's when you now start building out your dynamic shortcode. It also works with, like I showed a little bit, it also works with other things, not just the regular post. It can work with the call action. So if you have like your own PHP snippet that you've created somewhere, and you want to call that PHP snippet with a regular Elementor, you can't like write PHP into your Elementor website. But now with dynamic shortcodes, if you have a function, is similar to if you have breaks, you have that echo whatever you want to do. With Elementor now, with dynamic shortcodes, you can do that. So rather than echo, you write call. So you say call, and then you write the function name of what you're trying to call, and and then you can declare any variable that is added to that function, and it will work. So that's one powerful thing about dynamic shortcodes. That is, let me see if I can show you what I mean. So say, can I do it? Let me show you demo. Then under call, so you see, this is how it tells you if you have either a regular WordPress function like WP is mobile, or any of these regular functions, or you have your own function that you've added to a code snippets plugin, like maybe WP Codebox. Let me see, do I have anything here? Oh no, it's blank, nothing. But yeah, if you have like your function that is a PHP function that is here, all you have to do is just get the name of that function, and you can now use that call. Where is it? Let me go back. You can use the call, put the function name, space, put any arguments, and close it. Then, but the only thing is that because it is a function and we're not sure how security thing it is, you have to do it in a PowerShell code. So any of these call functions must be done in a PowerShell code, just for security reasons, and because it should be from somebody who knows what it's doing. So it's only an administrator that can create it and use it. So yeah. So those are the things about dynamic shortcodes. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the chat, and I will get right to those questions. But yeah, that is just a basic overview of how dynamic shortcodes work. The way it works is you have to first define what you're trying to get your data from. If you're trying to get data from the post, you now start your dealing with post column and then the meta field you want. If you're trying to get it from a term, you have to say term column, the meta field name. But terms are special. So with a term, you have to define the taxonomy. A term must always belong to a taxonomy. So you have to say term column. Let me show you. Here is an example. Let's see for term. Let's see if he has an example. Okay. Example. So all you have to do is say term name at ID to give you this one, but you also have to define where it is. So yeah, this is the taxonomy it's coming from. Otherwise, it will not work. Same with. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm switching things over. with the term name, it will work. It is the post terms that doesn't work that way, because the post terms, you need to tell it where the term is coming from. Otherwise, it will not work. So if I just write post terms, let me give you an example. Say, I think this post belongs to event location and then Spain. Okay. And this is a post is 233. Yeah. I think, okay. Yeah, I think the that's the trouble though, that where to use it. I think it's all the time. The main place where I use dynamic shortcodes is in my I don't have it here, but in my blog post. So what I did was I created like a bunch of um what's it called? So some variables using a shortcode, so that for my resources, you know how you have on so many pages in your website, you have like links to maybe your or your affiliate links. Yes. So back then, before I actually created my affiliate like short link, so rather than having to write all of those long links every time on your website, what you could now do is you create a kind of short code that just stores the name. So you just let me just quickly see if I can pop an example. So you can see that is one of the places where I use dynamic shortcodes. So I'll come to the power shortcode and let me create a new one. And I'll say something like, let's just say resource. Uh, so the call is just literally like the echo function. So is the exact way we have echo. That's the same way we have call. So if you can create, you have to create the function yourself, and the only thing that the call is doing is just doing the same thing as echo function. Yeah. It's not really like doing any. So if you have to create your filter function yourself from scratch using your PHP, then all that call is doing is just calling your function into the website. So that's what it's doing. Then, yeah, as I was saying about the resource. So let's say I want to be able to like write my resources in my website. So all I'll just do here is say, and now just come with a bunch of switch functions. I'll say something like switch column. Let me maybe I should zoom in a little bit so I can see. Yeah, switch column. Then I would say something like args 0. What this args means is kind of like in your shortcodes where you have arguments that you add after the shortcode. Something like maybe ACF field equal to 24, something like that. I can't remember how you did it. ACF shortcodes back then. But this is just the argument. So you're saying the first argument in your shortcode, take that value. If the value is equal to, let's say, Elementor, then return something like https Daveden's link / Elementor, I think. We can even make it a full thing. So href equal to this. If you want it to be as powerful as possible, okay. Close /a and to be called Elementor. So that rather than having to write this long thing over and over again, all you have to do is just write. I'll show you in a moment, but just write that short thing and it will work. So let's say that's for Elementor. The other one is for, let's say, dynamic shortcodes. So I'll say DSH, and this will be DSH, and this will be dynamic shortcodes. So we have these links now. Let's see if it works. So save it. So now all I have to do is take this code, power, resource, copy. Then I'll come to a page that I've created. Let's say I'm writing, let me just open a random post, maybe the hello world, or yeah, let me open this random post. And I want to write about Elementor now. I'll just say Elementor. No, I'll just write. So I'll write power resource. Is it resource or resources? Should I name this something that I remember? Okay, resource. And then I'll define what resource I'm looking for. Elementor, in this case, is a powerful tool. I also use okay, let me just write it in a nicer way. So I'll say PW. You can write either power or PW. I'll say resource again, resource, and this time I'll say maybe DSH. What's happening to this my post? It's just jumping up and down. In most of my websites. So this is one of the main ways I was using it when I first started when I got dynamic shortcodes. So now if you go to the front end, oh wait, what just happened? Why is it not showing? The power, is it not set up? Let me see. Dynamic shortcodes. I don't know why this always has to do this to me every time. Come to settings, Gutenberg, Elementor, WordPress. Okay, let me just put the post content there and see. Not sure why it's not working. Power, resource, copy. Yeah, should work. Unless something with this page. Oh yeah, because of this classic, maybe it's because of the classic block. I think it should work now. But if you're using the regular Gutenberg block, unknown type, this should not happen. Okay. Let me go ahead and see what's the problem. But that is how generally it works. So let me create a new page, new post. Then I'll put that thing again. So let me say this is the test now. Because that post was just, I created it using this plugin called Faker Press. So it uses classic editor to create, but it should also work. So let me try again. Power, resource, Elementor is a great plugin. Oh yeah, so let me publish this first. I will explain if it, I'll go ahead and see what the problem is first, then I'll explain everything. Test, view page, what the heck? This is weird. Anyway, okay, so let me first go back and see what was the problem. So I'll go back to my power shortcodes. I don't know why it always happens. Oh yeah, that's why. It's ARGS, not ARG. Save. Refresh. Not sure. I guess I should have used a website that I am using normally. So I'll do it in this page where Elementor is. At least this one I know it will work. So let me delete this. Just create a text editor widget. So text editor. It's kind of like writing in Gutenberg as well. So now I'll say power, resource, Elementor is a great product. Let's see if it works now. Publish. Show on the front end. So this is the idea, right? So it's working here. I don't know why it doesn't. So Eddie was asking, why did I use Elementor? So what I'm trying to do is that rather than having to every time write my entire long link here, what I'm saying is whenever I use this variable called Elementor, it should output my link for me. So in my blog post, when I'm writing my blog post, the moment I write Elementor, it will show me this long link. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining in Visual Media FX. It's been a long time. Thanks for joining in. So yeah, as I was saying, whenever I write Elementor, whenever I write this tag here, so I write power, this tag, and Elementor, it will retrieve this my long link. If I write power, resource, and then DSH, it will retrieve this long link. So that's it here. So if you see, I wrote Elementor here. If I write DSH, save it, and check on the front end. Yeah, so that's it. So now you see it writes the full name for me, dynamic shortcodes, and make it a link and all of that. So it's kind of like creating some placeholder text so that you don't have to write everything in a long form. You just write it in a short form, and it will work anywhere dynamic shortcodes works. So if, as long as dynamic shortcodes works in that area, like in a text editor, in your heading widget, in your Gutenberg blocks, I don't know why it was not working in that page, in your Gutenberg blocks, anywhere you put it, it will just work. So let's see, and you don't have to write the power in full. You can just write PW. Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing. Like you're saying, that was exactly what I thought as well. Which is why I started using dynamic shortcodes. That was the first thing that came to my mind, because a lot of time in my posts, I'm writing a lot of links, and I'm like, I don't have to be writing this link over and over again. Why not just come up with a simpler way to do it? So that's how I came up with this idea, and I think it's one of the use cases in the website as well, where you just write PW, you write you can make it a short. So rather than writing resource as a full name, you can maybe give it a shorter name, like maybe AFF, or for affiliate link. So you write PW AFF, and then the name of the link. So maybe Elementor, Cadence. And the beauty of it is, maybe 6 months down the line, your affiliate link changes. You don't have to now go back to every blog post to start trying to change your link. All you do is go to that one PowerShot code and then change the link there, and it will update every page that you have used that link. So that is why I like using the dynamic shortcodes. You can also use what's it called? You can also like tie it into options pages to make it a bit more dynamic. You can use options pages and then use dynamic shortcode to output from the options page if you want. Because regularly with regular websites, you'll not be able to pull data from options pages, but with dynamic shortcodes, you can pull data from an options page. So if you create an options page using something like ACF, you can now put the links in that options page in ACF, and then you use dynamic shortcode to pull in that link, so that whenever the link changes from ACF, it can change in every part of your website. So those are different ways you can do it. And the powerful thing is that it works inside Gutenberg. Most of these other tools, like with Bricks, as powerful as Bricks is, you cannot use the dynamic shortcodes inside, or like their dynamic data tags inside the Gutenberg block editor. So you are still limited. You only have the ability to use maybe like Gutenbricks or something like that, but it's still not as natively powerful as when you're using something like this. Or hopefully with other block builders now, I think they might give you that same power, but not exactly the same, but something similar, something like generate blocks and green shift blocks. They give you something similar, but not as seamless as with dynamic shortcodes. But yeah, that is it for this one. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments, and we'll try to answer those questions. But that is just one of my main use cases for dynamic shortcodes. I think the other use case I had was with, I think, JetEngine, and with the way they return their what's it called? Let me switch to my screen so that you see with Elementor, say I put, let me see if I added a date in one of these. Let me go to one of them. So I go to pages, no, events, and let's say I go to this Barcelona. You see this start date. If you go to the back end, so let me switch to the back end of the events, post type, or let me just go directly to JetEngine. Okay. And I'll go to post types, go under events, and check the start date. And you see, I saved the start date as a timestamp. Okay, the NL sign up. Okay, which? Oh yeah, oh yeah. So as I said from the beginning of the stream that the website isn't working currently. So many links are broken. That's why I didn't want to post the link initially. We are still working on the website. Once everything is done, then I will post the link again into the group. But for now, the web creators toolbox, that website has some links and are not working. Some because we've changed. We're trying to like move over to some different systems, so a lot of things are not working. Some of the forms are not working on the website. But once everything is sorted out, we'll let you know. So yeah, as I was saying, with the start date, we have the save as timestamp. When I do this, you now start having issues with Elementor because I think with Elementor, if you try to just use, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, if I come to my, let's say I use a heading widget and I try to retrieve the date, so I use JetEngine, then custom field, and I choose my start date. Oh, I can't even, sorry, I'm on the wrong page. Oh, yeah, I'm on the wrong page. Let me first get to the Barcelona event itself. So this event, I'll go to the page of this whole website is just broken. Don't know. So many things are not working. I should have prepared a better demo before before going live. Elementor theme builder. No, theme builder. Then let me see. I'm trying to get the event single post template. It's not here. Wait, that's why it's not working. Okay, so I'll create a single post template, add new, and change the settings. So this is for my events. So events, single post. Change the preview settings to events, add preview. Then I'll add a display condition so that it is showing up on all my events pages. Save and close. Okay, so we have this now. So I'll drop in the post title as normal. Then I'll drop in the post content just so we have something to work with. And let's say I'm trying to get okay. So to embed data from a different website, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll look into that. So like what I plan to do, is it from one of your WordPress website to another WordPress website, or you're trying to get data from an API that is like with documentation, because it has to be from, you can't just pull in any data. It has to be from somewhere. So let me, if you can explain in detail what exactly you want to do, and then we can work on that. So yeah, here's the problem I was trying to like point out with JetEngine, the custom field. So let's say I use a heading widget, set it to p tag, and I'm trying to get the date from the custom field. So custom field, and I choose the event start date. Because I set it as a timestamp, it's just going to be giving me this random, this number, because this is in the, what's it called? The universal timestamp. What's it called? Yeah, timestamp. So, and there is no way to format it here. So you can't use the JetEngine's date field in any other thing apart from their own widget. So if you have like their own widget, say like dynamic field widget, and I'll choose metadata and start date, event start date. Then with your own widget, you can filter the output and say it is a date. So format as date, then you get your date. So you see the trouble here. You are forced to use their widget if you want to filter out their date, given that you saved it as a timestamp. But this is where you can now avoid this limitation of not being restricted to their own widget if you have dynamic shortcodes. So let me go back to this page, to this heading. I'll clear it out, and this time I'll use dynamic shortcode. Click on the wrench icon, and the same thing. So for this one, because this is from JetEngine, I'll write jet, and then I'll write start_date. I think that's the ID, or is it dash date? Okay, it's dash date, okay. It will still give me this, but the cool thing is that with JetEngine, you can nest variables, so you can now come back to the beginning and say you want it to be formatted as a date, and close the curly brace. So now it will be formatted as a date. And this is the date format from my own website, so that's why it's formatted as this format. If you go to, I think, my settings, I think under general, right? You see, that is the format I formatted my date, which is the day, month, and year. And that's what is being retrieved here as, let me close this, let me escape, and close that. So you see, it is formatting it in my local date, and this is how it is. So that's the difference between JetEngine, or like most of these things, and the dynamic shortcodes. Dynamic shortcodes is well integrated, and you can nest like shortcodes together, so which makes it powerful. So you can nest one shortcode. So if you want the date format to be in any format, and you want to use any widget of your choice, you can do that. With some of these other ones like JetEngine, you have to use the dynamic fields widget before you can get their filter output. With some of the other ones like Metabox, I think you have to, Metabox works well, but you cannot format the date the way you want. You now have to still rely on their Metabox views to be able to format the date the way you want. And see, but with JetEngine, with dynamic shortcodes, everything is just like integrated together. Step-by-step video about many options how to use Elementor AI. Oh yeah, that is, with Elementor AI, I think for this one I would say I will look into Elementor AI, but personally I don't use Elementor AI, so I'll be honest. I hardly use Elementor AI. I mostly use with Claude and with Gemini and with ChatGPT and so many other ones that are out there. I use those ones more, but I will look into the Elementor AI again. Even their hosting, I've not tested out their hosting in a while. I think maybe Eddie has some opinions about Elementor AI and their hosting, because I know he uses them for testing purposes, so he may have better understanding. How to create. I've not used tool sets. No, I've not used tool sets. I've only worked with Pods, ACF, Metabox, JetEngine, and then ASE. Those are the 5 MetaFields plugins that I've used so far. I've not worked with toolset yet. I don't know if I'm going to look into it because there are so many things to look into, and toolset and pods are not as popular as they used to be. So most of my attention now is on JetEngine especially, then Metabox and ACPT. Those are the 3 that I use a lot. So yeah. So does any other person have any other questions, any comments? And we can try to answer them here. Otherwise, we can have a lovely day. But yeah, like I said, this website, once we've sorted out everything the way it should be, then we'll publicize it and people can go ahead and register. We'll have a better section for all. It will be mostly tailored on for people in the UK. It will not be limited to Elementor, but Elementor will be our main focus. But it will be for people in the UK basically, and we'll be able to get our monthly meetups. It happens every last Wednesday of the month, but I think this month, because we are in the holiday period, we might do it either next week or we might have to postpone it to the new year. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in today. I'm happy that I was able to explain some things. I hope most of the things were understandable. Like I said, if you have any questions, I'll try to do this on a monthly basis for like specifically dynamic shortcodes. I'll try to do a meetup or like a Q&A section for dynamic shortcodes every first Wednesday of the month, I believe. Yeah, first Wednesday of the month, but not January, because January I will not be in town. But from February, every first Thursday of the month, by the same time, I'll be doing the live stream specifically for dynamic shortcodes. Then other weeks, I'll be doing weekly like live streams, but the one that is specifically for dynamic shortcodes will be on the first Thursday of the month. Other ones will be just random general questions and answers. Probably, maybe the last Thursday will be about accessibility. I'm not sure, but it is confirmed that every first Thursday of the month we'll be doing live stream about dynamic shortcodes. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm really happy, and without any other questions, I'll be seeing you in the next live stream. So thanks Eddie, thanks Beatrice, thanks skating choreographer. I know you were not able to make it today, but hopefully in the replay you'll be able to join in. Thanks Artiv and every other person that joined in. Thank you Visual Media FX. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.